Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What is poppin', y'all? It's a man, Clockboy Bales, and welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports Weekly Wednesday Predictions. A lot happened last week. We are already to week 15. 4 more weeks of regular season football. No more bye weeks. We are down to the nitty gritty. Obviously, as you can see, we have games spread out now. And obviously, that's probably what's going to be the case for the next 3 weeks. Obviously, because the final week is every game's on Sunday. So, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But I'm excited because realistically, I think anything could happen. And yeah, this has been a completely wild season. And yet, you know what? Anything could happen. But if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts. Let's get down to business. And obviously, first off, we have the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. And also, by the way, fantasy playoffs start this week too, which is funny enough to think about. My playoff streak is still alive. Yay. All right, first off, we have the Chargers versus the Raiders. Unfortunate news for Chargers fans, even if they do exist. Justin Herbert is out for the year. Broke, I think, his index finger in the last game. They said for safety reasons, he's not going to play the rest of the season. I honestly believe he shouldn't, because look at the Chargers. They're playing so bad this season, and I hope they decide to finally fire the coach. I really don't. So with that being said, right now I think the Eason Stick right now is the starter. So I don't know. I feel like Vegas needs a win just to boost up their feelings for the future, but we'll see. I'll say the Raiders. Next up, we got a triple header on Saturday. We got the Minnesota Vikings at the Cincinnati Bengals. Minnesota beat the Raiders 3-0. Tied for the second lowest score, the second lowest scoring game in NFL history. Obviously, the lowest scoring game in NFL history was 2-0. That only happened once. But 3-0 happened twice. Obviously, this happened last week. Weird. Cincinnati, despite losing Joe Burrow for the season, Jake Browning is actually looking good enough for Cincinnati to actually win games. And with that, I feel like Minnesota's offenses look bleak. Now, they're decided that they're going to give Nick Mullins a chance, which is what they should, I think, they should have done a while ago. I knew Dobbs wasn't that good. So now that they're starting to finally see that, definitely, it's nice to see that they're giving Nick Mullins a chance. But I think the Bengals are going to get the victory here. Next up, we have two 7-6 teams that, in my mind, are terrible, and somehow they're both have playoff spots, and I have no idea how. But if I had to pick between the two, Pittsburgh's going obviously with Mitchell Trubisky again. Their offense has they looked so bad last week. In my mind, Colts should win this game. There's just, even though I don't think the Colts should make the playoffs, they're just going to get an easy win out of this. The Steelers just, but you know what's so funny? Every time I pick the Steelers, they lose. They win. Every time I pick the Steelers, they lose. Every time I pick against it, they win. I don't even know what it is. So you know what? Who knows what'll happen? And then we have the Denver Broncos taking on the Detroit Lions. Denver, I don't know what to really put them. They can win games, they can honestly make the playoffs, but I think I just don't see Detroit losing 3 games in a row. I just don't see that happening right now. So I guess I'm just going to say Detroit gets the victory over Denver, but you never know. All right, going on to Sunday, we got the Chicago Bears taking on the Cleveland Browns. Chicago, they beat the Vikings, they beat the Lions. Chicago is starting to actually look a lot more confident. And then Cleveland, well, they are decided to think that Joe Flacco is their quarterback of the future, even though they still are keeping him on the practice squad, which is a stupid idea, but oh well. But yeah, I guess Cleveland, they defeated Jacksonville. Their defense is good enough to, I believe, win games. But you know what? I'm going to actually pick Chicago to win. I don't know why, but I feel like they're really starting to. Chicago's really starting to play a lot better as of lately. Next up, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay with a heartbreaking loss in the Giants. Pretty much, the Giants always seem to know how to beat the Packers. I just don't know what it is. Tampa Bay is just such in the middle. They're both, but I think obviously Green Bay in December. We all know how Green Bay plays in December, and it's hard for them to lose games. I mean, I don't think they've lost a home game in December in forever. So I feel like with the momentum, I think they'll get past last week and they will defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Plus, I'm going to that game, so I want to win. Next up, the Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. CJ Stroud could be out. He suffered a concussion. That's not good. But I think anyways, if there's no Stroud, I'm gonna actually pick Tennessee. And I think I might actually keep on Tennessee because Tennessee beat Miami. I don't know. You never know. Next up, New York Jets at the Miami Dolphins. The biggest game of the season for the Jets. And why is this the biggest game of the season? Because if the Jets do win this week, we will actually get to see Aaron Rodgers play. And you know what? It's crazy enough to think about that. But I don't know. I don't know. It's a long shot. Miami is obviously a winning team, but they always seem to choke. Uh, but maybe the Jets have a bit of a off. Maybe something changes in the Jets. I mean, we saw them actually win last week, which was crazy. But you know what? I'm gonna pick the Jets to beat Miami. I just see it happening. I have no idea why. Next up, Kansas City Chiefs taking on the New England Patriots. Kansas City, I just do not see losing a third game in a row. Patrick Mahomes is literally trying to do everything he can to be hated right now by the entirety of media. Yes, they are going to beat the Patriots. I will say that. They should beat the Patriots. But seriously, Mahomes needs to relax. He is not Brady. You know, he's trying so hard to say, "Oh, he's Brady now." I mean, like I've said when he was in the league, Mahomes is the new LeBron. It's literally it's the comparison. They're both complaining like babies. It's true. I've never seen anything more crazy in my life. I'll say Kansas City definitely need a win here. I'll take Kansas City. Next up, New York Giants at New Orleans Saints. Giants have looked a lot more comfortable as of lately. I think that this trend is going to continue upward, and they will defeat the Saints. I mean, Tommy DeVito's looked phenomenal as of lately. I mean, screw Daniel Jones. He's your guy. I can't say anything else. Next up, Atlanta Falcons at Carolina Panthers. I'll say the Falcons win. I mean, the Panthers just aren't going to win another game this season. There's just no way. Washington Commanders at Los Angeles Rams. Matthew Stafford's actually looking like he did 2 years ago when he was dominating. Healthy Cooper Kupp. This just shows a healthy Rams team can win games. If they're not healthy, they ain't going to win. So when the Rams are healthy, which is what they are right now, they're going to win. So Rams win. Next up, San Francisco 49ers at Arizona Cardinals. Let's just say that San Francisco continues their dominance and they should get the win here. All right, a good gun. Dallas Cowboys at the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo with a big win over the Kansas City Chiefs. They needed that win so badly, knowing that literally playoff implications are on the line for Buffalo. Another loss and they'll be out of it. So they need wins more than anything. Dallas now has the division and they would have a home field advantage after a big win against the Eagles. But you know what? I actually say Dallas loses here. I think Buffalo, knowing that they beat the Chiefs, I think that there's going to be a big deal coming for Buffalo, and they're going to try to win their way into the postseason, which I feel like, I was actually saying at the start, I said Buffalo ain't going to make it. But now I'm starting to see some teams in there that should be in there that Buffalo should be, but you never know. Okay, Baltimore Ravens at Jacksonville Jaguars is our Sunday night football game. Jacksonville is now starting to struggle. They were doing fine, but now I'm starting to really think that Jacksonville has no shot at playoffs at all. They just don't look good at all. And losing to the injury-riddled Browns and Bengals really just says everything. Baltimore right now, I think, is the top dog in the AFC. They're the best team right now in the AFC. I just don't see Jacksonville being able to pull out a victory against Baltimore. That just won't happen. And then Monday Night Football. We had our first flex. Originally, it was Kansas City versus New England, but I guess, thank God, because no one wanted to see that game. We got a better game. Philadelphia Eagles at Seattle Seahawks. Philly got blown out in the last two games. I feel like even though Seattle is a team that can compete against good teams, I just feel like Philly, they are going to do the best they can to get a win here. So I'm going to say Philadelphia beats the Seattle Seahawks and gets back on the win column. Because if you look at their schedule, it's Giants should win, Cardinals should win, Giants should win. So if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and as always, we will see you next time.